Alright, this is a review from section 4.10, and pause the video and see how you do with this. It says write the quadratic in standard form. Now I have the standard form equation written up there for you, although that will not be on the test, so you need to make sure you know that. So I'm going to color coordinate my points here. So the first one is my blue point, and that is negative 1, 4. Negative 1, negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4 in for y, and negative 1 in for x, and then I'm going to simplify that. So negative 1 squared is 1a minus b plus c. My second point is 2, 5, so I'm going to do that same thing, except I'm going to put 2 in for all the x's, so I'll have 5 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. And my third point in green there is 12, 3. So substituting those in, I get 9a plus 3b plus c. Now c is always c, so I would make sense to just always eliminate c, because all I have to do is negate one equation to add to cancel out. So I'm going to take my blue equation and I'm going to add, or I'm going to negate my red equation. So I'm just going to multiply all the red by a negative, so that when I add those, I get negative 9 equals negative 3a minus 3b, and of course my c's are gone. Okay, and I'm going to kind of highlight this one because I'll come back to it. Then I'm going to put my blue equation with my green one, and I'm going to negate all of my green. So everything will be negative, and then when I add those together, I get negative 16 equals negative 8a minus 4b, and my c's are gone. And now I have a system of equations again, but with two variables, a and b. So I'm going to put those together. And before I do that, take a look. Would it be easier to eliminate a? Well, I'd have to probably make them both multiples of 24. Or b, which I could go with 12. So I think I might go with b. Looks a little bit nicer. So I'm going to multiply my red equation all by 4 so that I get a negative 12, and then my green equation all by 3. Alright, so my new red is going to be negative 36 equals negative 12a minus 12b, and my new green equation, multiplied all by 3, will be negative 48, negative 24a, and negative 12b. And then if I want to eliminate my b's, maybe I'll just change all my greens here to negate those, right? When I add them up, I get 12 equals 12a, so that's pretty easy to see that a is equal to 1. Once I know what a is, I can come up to any equation that I want to. And I think I'm going to go up to my boxed red equation here, and I know that a is now 1. So if I add 3, I can see that b is 2. And then last but not least, and I'll try not to move my screen, I'll go up to this blue equation, I guess, up here, and I'll put in what I know for a, b, and c. So a is 1, b is 2, and c is c. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1, but if I add it over here, I'm going to get negative 3, and I just don't have a lot of room and I don't want to make a mess. So c is going to be negative 3. So now I am going to move it up a little bit here. My final equation, don't forget you have to actually write your equation right, is ax squared plus bx plus c. And that's your final answer. Alright, this video, or this slide, is on Vertex form. So pause the video and see how you do. I have Vertex form written on up top here, and just to remind you, I put plus there, so it's x minus h in case you can't read that. You need to know that form. So you're given your vertex here, which is hk, and you're given a point, which is an xy. So if I plug everything in, y is negative 10, and x is negative 5, minus a negative 2 is plus 2, and don't forget to square that, and then minus 4 because k is 4. If I simplify everything, negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3, and negative 3 squared is 9. And if I add 4 to the other side, I'll get a negative 6, and divide by 9, so I see that a is negative 2/3. So I now know a, and I know h and k, and that's everything I need to do, or need to know, to fill in my final answer. So y equals a times quantity x minus h, so plus 2 squared, plus k, which is a minus 4. And there's our quadratic in vertex form. Alright, the last one, of course, is writing the quadratic in intercept form. So I have intercept form written above, which again, you have to have that memorized. You're given two intercepts, so clearly your p and your q. And then, of course, your random point, which is an x and a y. So again, I know the x and the y, I know p and q. You're always trying to find a. So if I plug everything in, I know y is 12, and I know x is negative 2, minus a negative 4 is plus 4. And then x again is negative 2 minus 1 for my q. If I simplify the parentheses first, negative 2 plus 4 is 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And negative 3 times 2 is negative 6a. So if I divide that, of course I see a is negative 2. So now I know p and q and a, so I can write my final equation. So that's going to be y equals a times x minus p, so plus 4, and x minus q, which is 1.